Murder in the Mountains of Appalachia. A botched police and prosecuting investigation allows a killer to go free to commit an atrocity only 7 years later. Next, on Untold Capers and Crime. In the Appalachian Mountains, one family name would carry the weight of two brutal crimes, 7 years apart. The Glocke name would come to mean blood, silence, and secrets. 2005. Daniel Price disappeared. Days later, his burned remains were found in the Appalachian Hills. The suspect? Kurt Glocke. A man long rumored to settle disputes with violence. But behind the official record was a darker truth.
They said it was Dad. Said Kurt Glocke killed Daniel Price. But that's not the whole story. He locked Price in that shed and left me with the gun. When I walked in, Price was tied up, sweating, eyes wide. He begged, said he had a family, said he'd make it right, but all I could hear was my dad's voice in my head. Don't leave loose ends. So I raised the gun. My hand shook, but I pulled the trigger. Once, then again. The sound rang in my ears. Price fell silent. And something in me fell silent too. The shed was already ablaze when Dad pulled up. He saw me standing there and just nodded. No anger, no shock, just pride. That was my first kill. Mine, not his. He put his arm around me as we watched the evidence cook.
Kurt didn't pull the trigger. Kurt didn't light the fire. When police came, he took the blame for it all.
They ended up handing Dad a 15-year stretch. They searched high and low for a reason to give me some time too, and found it in the form of some drugs I stashed in my truck and forgot about long ago. I pulled a year of prison and then was released on parole.
7 years later, history repeated itself. This time with 4 victims: Ryan, Melissa, Ethan, and Chloe Cooper.
Ryan Cooper said I owed him drugs, money, pressure that wouldn't go away. By then, killing wasn't foreign to me. It was a door I'd already stepped through. And when he came looking, he brought Melissa and the kids. That night, when their van rolled up, it felt like the shed all over again. Another test, another choice.
The confrontation turned fast. Words became threats, and then gunfire.
Ryan came at me angry, spitting words, told me I was weak. He thought I wouldn't stand my ground, but I'd already crossed that line years ago. I pulled the gun. His face changed, just for a second. Then I fired. Melissa screamed, reached for him. Another pull of the trigger. The echoes rang through the trees. I fired again, at the last living witnesses in the van, and then silence.
The violence spread like wildfire. Within moments, the entire family was gone. Jack Glocke pulled their bodies into the woods, stripped them, and left them among the undergrowth in a riverbed for the animals.
I dragged them into the woods. My arms burned, legs heavy. I thought if I stripped them of their clothes to let nature get at them, hid them deep enough, the forest would keep my secret. But I knew better. Deep down, I knew. The woods don't hide guilt. They just hold it for a while.
Investigators launched a massive search. Less than a mile from the van, they uncovered the truth Jack tried to bury. Investigators later described the discovery as one of the most disturbing scenes they had ever faced. Troopers set up a roadblock nearby. When a car slowed to a stop, Jack Glocke was inside. Jack first confessed, then recanted. But before trial, he pleaded guilty to all 4 murders. The sentence? Life without mercy.
If Dad hadn't taken the fall for Price, maybe Ryan, Melissa, Ethan, and Chloe would still be alive. But he did. He called it protection. What it really was permission. And I took it. Now I sit here with 4 life sentences, and their names echo in my head every night. Daniel, Ryan, Melissa, Ethan, Chloe.
The sentence was final. 4 life terms without mercy. No chance of parole. 2 crimes, 2 trails of blood, 1 father, 1 son, a legacy of violence that reshaped an entire community. The Glocke name etched itself into Appalachia's dark history, first in a shed, then in the woods. The opiate epidemic has taken lives in overdoses, but also in the form of homicides and other crimes done to feed the addiction. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, please share this and our other Untold Capers in Crime.